Hey, good evening, everyone. In tonight's trading video, let's take a look at some of the markets here. We will start off with the S&P 500. Now, you can see here, late last week, we saw a dive here off the break. So we've been watching this for quite some time, right? And it had been sort of stair-stepping here for the better part of almost 2 months now. And it broke hard. So we've seen it fall hard. It's retraced right to about 50% of this leg. So from the low here to this high, it came down. So if I redraw that last move, that little micro move from here to here, you can see it has bounced back right off that 56.18. Again, not really surprising. But keep in mind, as I just mentioned a moment ago, you see what happened here? This broke a major move or major sort of stair step it had been doing essentially since the beginning, late May. So if you look here, that's probably the first part of it. I'm sorry, so that would be early June. And so we're in early August. So 2 months of sort of chopping around, moving up slowly, breaks it hard. Now it's bouncing. Now the key thing here, the thing that I'm looking for is what happens as it rallies up into this level. So if I take away this fib right here, right, and I draw another fib from the high down to the most recent low, we can see it's bouncing back up. Let me get rid of the 1414 here for a moment, but I'm going to leave my extensions here and you're going to see in a moment why. So the thing I'm going to be looking for is what happens if it retraces into this zone, right? This 50 to 618 zone. Now, interestingly enough, I would already believe based on fibs that once it gets into there, there's going to be some difficulty, right? Because that's sort of the law of fibs in a sense. But you combine that with sort of this right here, and it doesn't really make it doesn't make a good case for it really getting through. Now, it may push a little bit higher, but the point is you have 2 months of action here, and then you have that 5618, in the 786, which is a little bit higher, right in that area, right? So if I bring in the 786, another one that we sort of look at on bounce backs, that's right there. So that the 786 area happens to be right in that area, right? Right in this zone, I'm expecting there be some pretty significant resistance if it even gets there. So I'm going to be watching this over the next couple of days to see if it rallies in here. If it does, I'm going to be looking for some shorting opportunities. Why am I looking for some shorting opportunities? Well, again, this goes back to the whole monthly thing, right? So there's the end of last month. Here's the beginning of this month, but ignore the beginning of this month because it's only been a few days, and look at the end of last month. It doesn't look very positive. Now, it doesn't look absolutely negative. We've seen these happen before. But when I insert the RSI here, well, relative strength index, right, what we're seeing here is we were in extreme overbought territory here, right? And again, it has come down a little bit. It's still in extreme levels based on typical levels, which is around 70. So I want to see what happens here. Again, I see that there's a good chance, again, not guaranteed, that we're going to start to see some more significant pullbacks in the coming months. I don't know if it's going to happen next month or the month after, or maybe it doesn't even happen this year. But based on what we're seeing here, when you have these big, strong moves like this, essentially 2 years, almost 3 years of essentially very minimally interrupted move, doubling where it started essentially, I'm expecting something more major to occur here. So based on the fact that we've got a couple months of significant trend break, we'll see what happens. There's no guarantee, but something like this makes me interested in taking a short. And if I'm wrong and it makes new highs, then the loss is minimal. If I'm not, though, there's downside to be retested here, and then going back to the retracement that I originally did with the extensions right here. So if I sell it between 618 and 786, for example, the first thing I would be looking for, so let's say I sold it here, first thing I'd be looking for is a retest here, right? And then if it breaks down, I'd be looking for a move to the 127 and 1618 and then see if it continues. So there's a lot of possible downside with minimal, there's a lot of possible gain for minimal loss. So we could see the beginnings of a more significant drop, and this could be the start of it. So that's why I'm willing to take that sort of short. All right, that's it for tonight's video. Hope that helps, and we'll see you guys next time.